I'm about to do the intro.
I know.
Welcome to I Finally Get It. Today we have a very special episode where we kind of do a year-end review. Joining me today, as always, is Dustin Webb, our producer, although he's in front of the camera this time. And I'm your host, Jeff Martin. I guess we just say, let's get it.
Let's get it.
So before we get too much farther, we are doing a year-end review. Dustin and I have been at this for the last 6 months, and we always take this perspective to get 1% better every video or every podcast. And over the last 6 months, we've had, 24 guests?
I couldn't tell you.
24 guests.
They're all lumped into one.
Yeah, and we started this podcast over 6 months ago. So we did about 4 episodes prior to launching. And as we're sitting here today, it's New Year's Eve, December 30th, 2023. And we're just going to take a look back, learn what we did well, what we didn't do as well, what we can improve upon. And this is going to be kind of a working SWOT analysis, planning session, and goal setting session for 2024. So you'll know what to expect for I Finally Get It in the next year. And then we will continue our journey to improvement and getting better. Just to give you a little history of I Finally Get It, we have to kind of go back to where we started. This year, we've been at videography and posting and publishing things for a little bit more than a year now. We started with a video blog. We learned a whole lot after that. And like I said, with this, we went on a journey. We want to see where it took us and see if it was helping people. Ultimately, my goal is to help business owners become entrepreneurs and lead a great life. And the vehicle that I use is business consulting, business coaching, advising. And I wanted to do something that would allow me to get the message out and to help people, to serve people. And so we started a vlog. It was actually called Company Growth Mastery at first. And we did that for about 6 months. And then we realized, so what are we trying to do? In the end, we're trying to help people, lead their people, grow their companies, and live their lives. And so we changed the vlog to
Lead, Grow, Live.
Lead, Grow, Live. Since we started the podcast called I Finally Get It, and just to take that back, is I registered that domain name about 9 years ago. And originally I was going to write a book. And I said, look, I love the name I Finally Get It because entrepreneurs are on a journey. And we have, although we have discoveries almost daily, on our journey, we have a lot of things. There are usually 1 or 2 or 3 game-changing discoveries or realizations or light bulb moments, right? That we have that changes everything. It changes our companies. It changes our lives. And when we said, let's start a podcast and let's call it I Finally Get It, it really was talking with business owners, with entrepreneurs, to try to find out what is the one big game-changing discovery you've had that changed your whole world. And if you share that with other business owners and entrepreneurs, it will help them either shortcut success, get to success quicker, or avoid failure, if that's possible. And so that was the whole impetus of I Finally Get It.
So I was just going through the notes of what we've been going through, and I have just all kind of little things. So I'm like, can we change this? Can we change that? Should we change this? Should we change that? Are we changing too much? And we still don't really know, honestly.
No.
Because it's not like one thing we did changed the course of viewership or clients or anything.
Correct.
It's slowly kind of getting its way to 100 subscribers.
And that's sort of a business lesson. We launch thinking it's going to do this, and then all of a sudden we go off course. But we have to allow it to become what it's going to become. And I think that's what we're doing. And without these types of, kind of stop, drop, and roll meetings, we won't recognize either what's changing, or we won't make adjustments like we need
right. To. And I think we have. We have had little meetings, not on video, that we at least were like, this is a great idea. We need to do this. Or why didn't we do that before? It's been 3 months. Yeah. And so, without these little powwows, we would be very stagnant and almost feeling like hopeless.
It just gets stale and
helpless.
It's only
boring.
Yeah, correct. I do think we have a lot that we can improve upon. And you and I talked yesterday off camera. And while we're doing this, we still don't know on camera. But I think it's going to be fun because we want to involve everybody and we want your opinions too. So let's go back and let's look, now that we kind of know why we launched I Finally Get It and what we hope it to be.
6 months later, now we know why we did it.
And now we're trying to figure it out, actually. We've definitely worked on the intro and outros. We've changed those on the fly as we went.
And we still don't really know how we're doing it.
So we have had some great guests. I mean, they're great guests. I will tell you, one of the challenges that I think is we've had is there's just people that I know for the most part. Yeah. Of the 22 or 23 guests we've had so far, I've known all of them except for 2.
Is it really that many?
Yeah.
That's why we were so excited on the ones where you're like, you don't know this one?
Yeah, yes. Exactly. It's going to be different. And so I think part of that is I know the people and I kind of knew their story. And so what I would do during the interview or conversation is I would try to drive the conversation to that too quickly, to the light bulb moment or whatever.
When you already knew whatever they were telling you and you're like, I know this already.
Yeah. So let's get there. And if I ask this question, then we'll get there quicker. And it's not ideal. And so I'm looking back on some of these guests. My first guest was Scotty Beaudoin, one of my very best friends.
And that is a smart way to do it. First few. Make it comfortable, figure it out.
And looking back on some of these, they're amazing people and they've been wonderful. And I will always still go with people I know, but I want people who have listened to the show and they say, I got a great story and I can help people. I can help business owners avoid this terrible struggle.
Something like this would have helped me had I heard me tell me this
20 years ago. Yeah. So and that's what we might ought to position it as when we're talking to these. So I'm on my paper here. I'm going to put sort of a parking lot and just list the kind of things, ideas we come up with. And at the end of this, we'll figure out. So one is about, I guess, getting guests that I don't know. And so coming up with a strategy to do that.
Or like Roy was really good and you know him pretty well.
Yeah.
But you knew he had a story that would help people.
Correct.
And so not necessarily ones you don't know, because even the ones you don't know could have no story to tell.
Well, no, but I think everybody has a story. I think everybody has a story.
Well, everybody has a story, but does everybody have a story that will
help
jumpstart
business owners and entrepreneurs? Yeah, that's the right thing. And so maybe coming up with criteria on who to invite.
Yeah, well, I really think it's just, do you have something that you wish you would have known 20 years ago or 10 years ago? Yeah. And I think if they can answer yes to that question, maybe it's that simple.
Yep. And something that you figured out. See, and what I want to make sure the listener knows is that this is something that it's a light bulb kind of moment, right? Which we have our little light bulb, but it's something that either they heard something, they could have heard somebody talking and they got something from it. They could have read a book. They could have taken an online course or what. I don't care how it comes to you. I care that it came to you and then you share it so other people hear it and learn.
Yeah.
And so I think your question's a great one. Kind of, do you have something that you've learned that you wish you would have learned earlier?
I don't know how people are reading this or seeing this, but like a light bulb moment, I'm trying to think how they could interpret that. Like, oh, I realized I shouldn't be selling this just in store and I should be selling it online. Yes and no.
That's kind of a discovery along the way. I guess I mean epiphany. I mean, a game-changing moment. Or
and then also in
discovery.
that case, it could be, I wish I knew I should be selling online 10 years earlier. But that doesn't help people today.
Yeah, correct.
So that's even a weird thing to think about.
Yep.
So not only something you wish you would have known 10, 20, however many years earlier, but something that if you told someone today, they don't have to spend 10, 20 years.
Correct.
Trying to figure it out.
And that's what it is. Shortcut their success through your knowledge or your discoveries or through your journey,
your wisdom.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We got to figure out how to get to that quicker. We've also adjusted the agenda of the meeting, and that's one of the things that I think I need to continue working on, because I came in with a framework,
almost too frameworky.
Correct, and I think we've made an effort, and maybe we're getting better. I don't know, but I'm just having a conversation.
What if we started it like the aha moment? Because that's still a very broad question. Light bulb moment, still very broad question. Back to the question that we're talking about. What if you just started it with, if you could go back and tell your younger business owner, entrepreneur self one thing, like the result of what you learned from your aha moment, but if you can go back and tell yourself this, what would that be?
So I'm looking at it in three different parts. One is the moment and the lead up to the moment where they had their light bulb moment. The other one is the I guess the lesson they learned in the moment. And then what you're saying is the wisdom they share about the lesson they learned in the moment, right?
I guess that's kind of the same as a lesson though, huh?
Yeah, it's kind of the same, but
because if you start with that, you could be like, okay, well, how'd you figure that out? Get me there.
Well, yeah, exactly. And then I want to hear about the struggle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want to hear how you figured it out, and then how your life's changed after that.
Yeah. Why was it hard before you knew this? How'd you learn it?
Yeah.
Like, what was the hard way? Like, how'd you learn it the hard way?
Yeah, correct.
So to speak. And how has it made it better? Yeah. It's still kind of the same.
Yeah, that's the episode. That's what I think would be interesting to somebody.
Yeah.
You tell us.
I don't know which camera to look at.
Yeah, and you're the video dude.
I know.
In some ways, we've gotten away from that in some episodes. The audience is going to find out what you do. They're going to find out how you serve people and serve the world. During the episode, what I want to know more about is you. You and your journey and your overcoming a struggle that you had. That's the lesson for somebody else.
Yeah.
And although that has always been our desire and our motivation for the show, it just hadn't been that way in every episode.
Yeah.
So we got to figure out what we need to do to get that, to hear about the struggle, the moment they figured something out, the lesson they learned from that moment, and then how it will help other people.
I think the what would you tell yourself thing makes them quote themselves answering a question they don't know they're really answering.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. So we have a couple other things. So if a standard SWOT analysis is our strengths, our weaknesses, our opportunities, and threats. I don't know that we have much threat.
SWOT spelled with a 0.
Opportunities.
With an O.
Yeah, good morning.
Not a 0. It's not even that. It's noon.
I know. So some of our strengths, I think you're a strength. Your editing skills, your knowledge. In some ways, the guests that we've had. So my network is a strength of people that I know. Although I've already said we need to get other people that I don't know. If we're being honest, a lot of the people that I've had on the show, I've worked with them in some kind of way.
Yeah. Whether
I've coached with them or consulted or had a friend relationship with them.
Or maybe in 2024, we do outreach to maybe even the people that we had talked about BJ's Pizza.
Yeah, correct.
Because that was one of the first meetings. Is that what it was?
Yep.
That's what our first meeting was. And then we made a video talking about how it was closing down because...
Yesterday, I go to Books A Million.
Oh.
They're closing down.
Books A Million?
Books A Million in town. And so they had a ton of people in there. And I'm walking around and they have these discounts, these sales, 20, 30, some things 50% off. And I'm going, it's always been so sad for me that they have more business because they're going out of business. Yeah. And they advertise or they get the word out that they're closing, but they never got the word out that they were open when they were open. It drives me crazy. And it's sad. It's very, very sad to me.
That is crazy. Well, it's like BJ's. The last day they were open, there was a line down the street.
I don't know if they needed the police to, control traffic or what, but it was huge.
But somebody bought them out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like being topical-ish in that way, we could find the new owners.
Yeah.
And be like, okay, y'all learned something somewhere. You got to have learned something.
Yeah, correct. And so maybe we interview people like that.
Yeah, kind of look around, maybe local, like those type of, I love that place.
What other strengths do you think we have? Do you like the name? I finally get it. And kind of helping business owners?
I think if we can get to the topic that we want, that we keep talking about, yes. Because there's like 3 or 4 episodes that I think both of us would agree that's it. That's what we're looking for.
That's what we're trying to do. Yeah.
I mean, all of them touch on it at least.
Yeah.
But there was a few that were like, yes, finally. We finally got it.
And we're trying to figure out the last 6 months what we finally get.
Yeah.
Staying on the strengths, I think if we go back and we look at some of the guests that really got it and kind of we replicate and we multiply.
Kind of learn how to steer, because I think it falls on you to learn how to steer that conversation.
And that to me is a big kind of weakness and opportunity. I need to work on being a better interviewer. And so in my interview skills, and you don't know this, but Dustin this morning, he gave me a little homework the other day.
Don't say the other. I gave you homework 6 months ago.
A while, but he kind of had a great idea to look at other people. So go to Instagram, which I never go to Instagram, and look at what other folks are doing. He's shocked that I'm not a big YouTube guy. Or I do like YouTube to figure out how to do stuff, but to do what I do, I'm not really modeling anybody. I'm just doing what we do. And I think it's a good idea to go figure out what other people are doing.
And be in the community.
That be part of that, and strive to do that. In doing that, I think I'll become a better interviewer because I'll model what they're doing.
Or not even. I don't like the word model because I don't like the word mimic. I don't like the word model. I don't like the word duplicate. That's how I think I found my voice back when I did videos for me. I was watching a ton of people, and I just took the little bits of my favorite parts from everybody.
Pick the good stuff. Yeah.
And it was really me. It was just me realizing I like doing these things. I like talking about these things. Put them all in one. Then it becomes me. I just didn't know how to get there. So I think that's more
you're right. And that's what I'm looking at it. But in the end, one of my weaknesses, if I'm being completely open and honest, is I can be a better interviewer. And so one of my opportunities is to become a better interviewer by looking at and learning from people that do it.
Yeah.
And to this point, I haven't gone out and studied.
Yeah.
And so that's going to be a new thing for 2024.
And along those lines, you listen to podcasts, right?
Yeah, I love podcasts.
And so I thought, he listens to a lot of podcasts. He gets it. I don't know what kind of podcasts you listen to. It could be one person talking the entire time.
Yeah,
it could be two best friends talking the entire time.
That's right.
And so I'm just like, he listens to a lot. He knows how to interview, but they're not all interviews.
Yeah, correct. And so, but more than anything, I didn't want to be an interviewer. I wanted to just have a conversation.
Right.
And so sometimes folks need leading in conversations.
And it's been very hard to just have a conversation because I don't know if they're over prepared.
Correct.
Because they're just like, okay, I know what's coming. I need to answer this question.
Yep.
And it ends up being very transactional almost.
Yeah, sure.
Is that the word?
No, that's right. And so, but everybody has come in prepared. Everybody has incredible value, but it is up to me because I am trying to guide them and get the audience value, right?
Right.
So we'll figure out from a conversational perspective how to interview. I'm kind of listening to all these things for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. I don't know. I do think we have our strengths. I do think the podcast itself, it could be very valuable when we get it right. When we get people to share valuable lessons that help business owners and entrepreneurs, self-employed. I think we just continually strive to improve our 1% better every video, and it becomes what it's going to become. And I heard Gary Vee say one time, 1 is better than 0. 1 is greater than 0 is what he said. And he basically was talking about when he was telling somebody, look, man, just don't get discouraged. When I started the wine blog, he had 6 people viewer, and he know like they were all family, right? Yeah. And then the next one he had 11, and then he does this, and all of a sudden he has 10,000 people watching one video. But it's because of that mindset, 1 is greater than 0. Yeah. And so I think we just have to have that mindset along with 1% better every podcast, and continually look back like we're doing now, learning lessons, implementing strategies,
making sure we implement the strategy.
That's the key. I mean, that is the key.
Because we've talked a lot in the past of like, we need to start doing it. Oh, we should do this. Oh, we need to change this. And then we don't. Or like it wasn't written down. It was just a conversation. So we kind of forget about it. Or we're sitting there like, there was something we were supposed to do.
And that's a lot of business owners too. So everybody watching this can relate. Execution is the solution. I think we need to position it differently with our guests. I think we need to go out and do some outreach, like you suggested, and find guests that meet our criteria and have a wonderful, amazing, lesson-filled story.
I think doing some research on them too, especially if you don't know them, because if you do some research on them, you can find the stuff that you're interested about and ask them about that.
Correct.
To where when they start talking about it, you're like, oh, that's really cool. Tell me more.
Yeah. And because I will know that's what, if I know the audience right, which I think we do, and we're learning that too. We don't get a whole lot of feedback online, but we get feedback, outside of the show. But I'm learning what's working for those folks too. And then like research and figure out what's going to be suited for them.
Yeah.
Let's pivot though, and let's go to Company Growth TV. And why does Company Growth TV exist? To be clear, Company Growth TV is the name of our YouTube channel, but it's something that we've adopted to get the message out to my clients. My clients are business owners, entrepreneurs, who are kind of stuck in their business, and they're in the day-to-day, and they really hope to get out of the day-to-day one day so they can grow their companies. And I have this core belief that you grow your business to sell a company. You know what I mean? And you've heard this 1,000 times, but you grow your business to sell a company because nobody wants to buy a business. A business is almost like a job. And a company, though, is a well-oiled machine that without you will still operate. And that's what investors want to purchase.
And your personal goal, what you think your life purpose is what? To help people. You want to help people live their life.
Yeah, and I want their business to serve their lifestyle, right? To serve their lives.
And I've seen that. You care.
Oh, you care. We all look back where we were and figure out, oh, that's why I had to go through that. So I've had some blessings and I've had some curses, man. And so I've learned some really hard, long, expensive lessons in business. And if I can help anybody avoid that, oh God, so that's what I do. The vehicle I use is business consulting, and coaching.
Because you know it.
Because I know it. I know how that I can help you. Yeah, and I can get you out of this jam into that. And so that's why we created Company Growth TV, is to have different playlists, different shows. One is I Finally Get It, the podcast. The other is now Lead, Grow, Live, which we're not doing much. We've kind of kicked back a little bit, honestly.
Do we have... Yeah, because I think we also have too many... Like we're trying to fit everything into a certain thing.
Yeah, correct. And
we have a business tip, Lead, Grow, Live.
Yeah, that's right.
Then we had at one point separated the Lead, Grow, Live into Lead, Grow, and Live.
Yeah, and so
almost too many ideas.
We've definitely been trying, but we've definitely learned lessons. And you know what I love more than anything is the shorts and reels that we're doing. Because those get eyeballs, and if eyeballs will come into ears and listen, they will learn, and they'll come into our other platforms.
And along with that, I truly believe, like, I'm not a business coach. I'm kind of a business owner. Mm-hmm. You would tell me, Dustin, you're a business owner. Stop.
You are, yeah.
I truly believe that you're giving every video has information in it that's helpful to any entrepreneur, business owner, company owner. You're thinking about owning a business, running a business, you want to, you're starting one, whatever.
Yep.
It can help that person.
And not that I'm the smartest guy in the world, but they just got to stop and consume some of the content,
right.
Listen. So that's another thing is subscribers. How do we get more people subscribing to Company Growth TV, and therefore I finally get it and all the other content we're putting out?
I don't know.
I know. And
I feel like that's such a tiring question because we've been asking that so many times.
We've got to figure that out. And so here's a test. If you happen to be watching this, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Company Growth TV. I just threw that out. That's a test.
You have to be some kind of extreme. And I think what's happening on your channel is you're just giving information. We've been trying to find your voice. We've talked about that and trying to find like just that feeling of here's where the passion can show.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I think we hit it on the head when we said you care. Recently we talked about let's tell people the truth.
Yeah, correct.
Not that you're not, but there are so many other people out there that actually are not telling people the full truth.
Yeah, and what he means is this get rich quick. You can be a millionaire in 2 weeks or, you've seen it in weight loss. You lose 50 pounds.
Revamp your marketing and with this 5-minute video.
Yeah, correct. Being the truth teller is really like, look, this is really the way to do it. It's more of a methodical, strategical thing.
They might have good points in those videos that you can tell. Like you'd be like, no, it's all right. It's just not going to happen in a month.
Correct.
And here's why. Or
exactly.
Because you just started a thing about, was it employees? Like employee transformation?
Oh, yeah. Like team alignment is what I call it.
And how long is that going to take?
It's a year. When I originally thought it would be a 90-day kind of turnaround deal,
which is still longer than a month or 5 minutes, like some of these.
And it's impossible, really. If you get, and that's the difference between transactional and transformational. If you're going to see true transformation, if I'm going to really help a business owner, entrepreneur get out of the day-to-day, it's going to take a transformation. It's not this one and done.
Yeah.
And that's most everything. So that's what you're saying. Yeah.
You've helped people for sure that have subscribed.
I think so. But I want to help more.
I know.
And
that's the thing. I know what we're doing can help. I think it's less selfish than it sounds, like wanting to reach more people, because a lot of people are like, I want to be an influencer. I just want millions of people to follow me and blah, blah, blah. I'm not actually benefiting them in any way. But it's kind of sad to think about it now that I'm saying it. We're trying to benefit all these business owners.
We're truly trying to help, and we're not trying to entertain. That's the thing.
And I think we need to.
Well, we may need to. So infotainment, right?
Yeah.
That's where the world is going. I mean, I'm one of my New Year's resolution is to get off reels.
And I'm trying to force them back on.
Oh, I know, but business reels. Yeah. I'm just mind-numbing nothingness.
Yeah.
And it just is the biggest time suck there ever was. But when it's all said and done, what is so addictive is the entertainment, I don't know what's going to come up next.
Yeah. You get that hit of dopamine or whatever, just sitting there, flicking your finger across a phone.
So it's crazy. So I don't want to do that. And that's what we're trying to figure out, I think, is it's hard to figure out how can I get through to somebody without, basically feeding their dopamine addiction. You
mean without being like, hey guys, it's me, Jeff?
Well, being fake. I mean, I want to be real.
Well, I think you have to find a different way to feed it.
Yeah, sure.
So you have to give them information that's so like, you have to almost make them feel the information you give them. Like if you don't want to be overboard, cartoonish or whatever, like just talking about this right now, I'm just like when your heart drops because you're like, oh, I need this. I need to know this. Or I yes, that's right. Well, I feel that
too.
Dude,
you tell me how to do that, and that's what we're going to do.
But that's kind of the goal now that I'm thinking about it, because when people stay on something, they're like, ooh, like there's some kind of emotional reaction.
Yeah.
It's not just A + B = C, thanks for watching.
Correct.
Because then that makes them like, and
yeah.
So
and how does that help me? I already knew that or whatever.
And that might be partially why the couple the reels that have done fairly well, you have one where you're like, business owners, come here. I gotta tell you a secret.
Yeah.
And they're like,
I need to hear a secret.
Yeah. What?
Yeah. Yeah. We gotta figure that out. And so if you have an idea, if you have something that you want, just go ahead and share that with us, because we want to hear that as well. So we've looked at I Finally Get It, which is part of Company Growth TV. We've looked at the components we have currently in Company Growth TV, and with the addition of these shorts, which I think has been very helpful. We've got a nice library of content. We just got to keep going and keep growing and keep improving.
Well, that was one of our goals, and we definitely achieved that one. We achieved
that one for sure.
Definitely have a library of content.
Yep. Yep, no doubt about it. And when somebody comes there, if it's for validation, they're going to see that, they have put out some content.
Can answer a lot of questions.
That's right. And I think we just went over 6,000 hours of viewing. Am I right? Yeah, I just got some kind of, that's a lot to me.
With only 70-something subscribers.
I know. It's crazy.
But how many subscribers do we have at the beginning of the year? Like 16?
Yeah, it was low. It was embarrassing. And we're going to hit over 100 here soon. If we go back to the parking lot, is I need to get guests I don't really know. I need to do some research and outreach to invite people that can contribute and help the audience learn. I love the idea, your question. In fact, I want to test this. Dustin, I want you to tell me something that you learned that you wish you would have learned 10 years before learning it. No pressure.
Yeah, I know, right? No, but it is funny because without thinking about it, so much goes through my head. Like, don't do that front flip off this trampoline.
Yeah, sure.
Like, just get that shoulder surgery a year earlier. Don't steal this base because you're going to tear your hamstring and not be able to play half the season.
All right, so you're self-employed. A self-employed business owner. If you had other people out there, what are some lessons you've learned along the way?
Here's something that happened that I guess I would tell myself to pay more attention to, because I realized this after. I guess that's kind of the point.
That's right.
So I worked for a few marketing companies before realizing, hey, you're doing all the content, but the best part of you, they're not even using, which is creating it, coming up with the ideas, talking to the business owner, collaborating and creating something innovative, new, exciting, different, whatever. We were just doing very cookie cutter things and I would get tired of it. But yeah, so I went to a different marketing agency and ended up being kind of cookie cutter again. And it just kept happening. And so I was like, all they're doing is posting what I'm making. Let me just do it all. I'm doing the hard part anyway, or the, more involved part. And so I ended up starting my own thing. But with my own thing, I now know what I like about marketing people, marketing companies, what I don't like, and how customers react or perceive them. So like, I don't want to lie to anybody. I don't want to over promise and under deliver, like this whole list of things. So going back, I'd probably tell myself, hey, pay attention. You're not going to be at this place for long, but learn and pay attention to everything you can, because there are a million marketing companies out there. But if you could, kind of like with the videos earlier, if you could take from all of these everything you like, and not do everything you don't like, it's you, the way you want it, the way you think it should be.
Yeah, that's huge.
And so if I could go back and actually write down all those things just have a list to be like, here's my company, instead of taking 5 years or 10 years or whatever to mold it and together. And
that right there is why a lot of companies don't succeed, because you're either going to run out of time or money. And often you run out of time and money at the same time. If you could have shortcut that, right, by taking the lessons you've learned, really thinking about what you offer, how you offer it, how you serve people.
Instead of having to test them each time.
Test and figure it out along the way. Kind of like we're doing with I Finally Get It, right?
So wait, so if any of y'all have done this before and want to shortcut our success by telling us what we could do right.
That's right. Podcasters out there. Yeah. Please. I don't think a podcaster would sit here and listen to this.
Maybe.
But it's very valuable. And that's what comes out of conversations.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Thank you.
From what you just said, I don't think a podcaster's listening to this. Earlier you said for whoever's listening to this, in 2024, I want your mindset to be kind of what you brought up earlier. It doesn't matter how many people are listening to this.
Yeah.
They're the important ones people. And the right ones.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to stop thinking about there might be nobody listening to this. No, there's somebody. So think about that. Like,
no, and I know who I want listening. Yeah. So we'll just hone in on that. That's a great, and it's be selective, right? On the guest so we attract the right people. Yeah. You know,
the people you want to help, really.
So I think the biggest thing is it's guest selection, it's conversation rather than having a ready set agenda, and it's sticking with the lesson they learned from their struggle, talk about the struggle, and then talk about what life is like for them after that, and then getting them to share the lesson in a way that our audience listens and hears it.
It can relate to it.
Yeah, that's right.
Maybe that's what we need to do with the other videos. Be more relatable, because we're just kind of stating like, oh, this is good information. Let me tell people. Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people are doing out there. They're just stating an opinion, or here's the 1, 2, 3. And we've tried that. Here's step 1 to do it. Step 2, step 3, and you're going to be great. Well, it takes a little work too.
Because if we touch on the feelings.
That's right.
Because again, you're the empathetic business coach, really. We could take the fact that we're going to tell them what emotion it's going to help them with.
Yeah, correct. So prepare to cry in 2024.
Prepare to cry in 2024.
Your heart drop every time we say
every
something.
Video, your heart's going to drop. And you're going to be excited and sad and happy.
Nervous.
And you're not going to know what's coming. Something like, do you feel bad when you have to hire an employee you like?
I like it.
But like you mean that.
Because that's real.
Yeah. Instead of being like, here's how you fire an employee.
And nobody knows what it's like if they've never fired somebody. It's horrible. It's gut-wrenching. And look, man, you'll think about that person for weeks. Even if they weren't any good, you do, because it's a person.
Yeah. Well, typically you fire somebody because they're not any good.
Yeah, correct. And even though you may feel a little bit of relief and your coworkers are happy that you took a stance, I'm telling you, it takes a toll on you. That's all right. So that is a lesson for 2024 and for Company Growth TV, is we do have to hit on the emotion, because the emotion is real. That's outstanding.
And I think that's still on the truth aspect of things.
It's 100% truth. Because that's the reality.
Truth. It hurts to fire an employee.
Yeah, correct.
That's the truth.
Correct.
Now, if you're a ruthless CEO who doesn't care about people, not your client.
That's not my audience.
Not your audience. Even just, do you get excited when you get to go on vacation, even if it's for a day? You know how many people, gosh, I think we just solved it. Because if we changed every video we've done into something like that hurts me that we didn't do this before.
We had to get here.
That's like the vacation video.
The vacation was one of the best our biggest. Yeah.
Because it was take the vacation test, and you're like, I don't even know if you gave them a test.
Correct. No, well, I kind of did, but it's you ask yourself a question. If you're miserable on vacation, then you don't pass the vacation.
Emotion.
It's emotion, yeah.
Gosh.
And we built in reality and truth in that as well. And so here's your sign.
Yeah.
But you're right. And we need to invoke emotion, bring reality into the situation, and just tell the truth.
That could be your whole tagline right there.
Yeah, I know.
Or our mission statement, I guess. Our internal mission statement.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
We strive to evoke emotion.
Bring reality
and tell the truth.
And tell truth.
Gosh, I love that.
That's why we're doing this, man. That's why we're doing this. So we started this. I finally get it. What do we finally get out of the first 6 months we've done it, out of the end of 2023?
It's not easy.
It's not. One, it's not easy. As we finally get that. Guy, you do have to commit, and you do have to commit to being better every time you do this. And that's not easy either.
I think a big thing you're even maybe still learning from today, it's a lot more than just hiring a videographer and having them film.
Oh, yeah.
Like you actually have to work.
Or having an idea.
Yeah.
You know?
Like it takes work from the business owner who wants the marketing done.
Yeah. And when we have to grow, I'm going to have to become a better conversationalist, not interviewer.
And you're not bad.
No, I'm
so
not.
Like in person, it might be interviewer. That might be the words you want to use because like conversationalist, we can have a conversation all the time about anything.
Mm-hmm. We have to do some outreach, and we have to find the right people that are going to deliver value to our audience. We got to cater to our audience. That's really what it is. To kind of wrap it up, I think the way we're going to attract them, keep them, and then add value to their day and their business and their people is evoke emotion, bring reality, and tell the truth.
Yep.
Yeah, that's big coming. Uh-oh.
Hey!
Light bulb moment, baby.
I thought it was on the highest setting, and I thought you were about to turn it off.
Yeah, no.
I was like, oh no.
That is the reason we did this today.
So let's get started.
Let's get started. So thank you for tuning in to I Finally Get It. If this has been helpful for you and valuable, share this with somebody you like. Go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Company Growth TV. I want to thank Dustin for coming in and I don't know that we're the guest and host today, but it's really
just
coming
a little
in,
behind the
doing
scenes.
this behind the scenes. This is one of our meetings to review what we've done in the past, learn lessons from either our mistakes or our great things, and then employ those in the next year and come up with a plan. And I tell you what, we've done it.
I think we have. Look out, world.
Here we go. And while we're at it, I hope you have a blessed and productive and happy 2024. We're in this to serve our customers, serve our employees, and serve our lifestyle and our families. And so I hope you take away something from today and always to help you live the life you're supposed to live.